Hi, it's Sonia and welcome back to my art YouTube channel. Today is going to be 5 ways to use Neocolor I crayons, and just so the reason I've done this video is because in a video on materials, like dry materials, my favourites, I also talked at the end about ones that I'd found that I wanted to have a go using because they weren't necessarily my favourites, and did I want to keep them or donate to charity, because I was just going through art supplies. And what happened was, I didn't actually, maybe I did, but I found these. I thought I was having these as a spare set of Neocolor II. So these are my Neocolor IIs, and I was like, maybe because I take some around me or keep some in the kitchen in different areas, I thought these were Neocolor IIs, and I was like using them in a piece of work, and then because I'm sure that was a gift from my husband, and I was trying to wet them and make them water soluble, and I was like, what the heck, this is not turning into anything paint wise, and then I realized it was Neocolor I, and then at first I was a bit like, oh, what, I mean, I had to sort of look a bit more into them, and now I've discovered I really like them. So this is something that you can maybe do if you're sort of decluttering, reassessing your art supplies. Like, I can come up with my 5 ways that I found I really like to use these. If you have these sort of crayons or equivalents, then maybe these are some ideas for you. I would have to say, if I have to choose between these 2 sets every time, I'm just going to get Neocolor II, because I feel you get the same. I mean, where's the equivalent colour? I mean, the point is, these are obviously these are artist crayons, they are more expensive, and at the end of the day, I mean, it's just that's water soluble, and this one is wax resistant. But these are lovely crayons, I'm not going to lie. I mean, you can tell the difference compared to children's crayons, Crayola, and I think I'm going to get loads of use out of them. The other thing I like about these type of crayons is like less waste. I mean, I feel you're going to use the whole thing, there's no plastic, there's just a bit of paper around them, and these are going to last a long time. So I'm really glad that I did realise that they're not the same crayon. So that would have been a funny video because you'd have heard me like swearing, going, what the hell, I mean, what the heck is going on with these crayons. Okay, so Neocolor I, these to one side. I'm going to show you some of my work as well, which is relevant to where I've used these crayons. What are they? Just quickly, because I obviously had to go away and quickly research what they were. They're wax resistant, they're oil pastel stroke crayons. They're obviously quality, richly pigmented, and they do give a very nice, vibrant, soft, smooth colour. I mean, I don't have do I have a child's crayon? Hold on, sorry. Okay, so, I mean, this is to be honest, actually, this isn't bad. So, with these, just to say, you can also take my 5 ways, and if you've got any wax crayons or just crayons, here are some ideas for your sketchbook too. But, but they are of a higher quality than children's crayons. They're good for mixed media work, I can see that's what I've been doing. And apparently they are soluble in turpentine and within caustic. So they are dissolvable. Now, one thing I couldn't find, please let me know if anybody does know. I mean, are they light fast? I don't know how light fast they are for people who are worried about archival work or selling originals. Now, let's go on to my top 5 ways. Well, I'm actually really loving these now. Is I'm realizing I can bring them into how I work in a good variety of ways, and I love having variety. So should we just go, because I've got this sketchbook on top of the pile. Okay, this is a nice watercolor sketchbook, and this page is obviously a quite a loose still life. I think it's actually from Life. This is an old, and I haven't dated it page, but on top I have drawn over. So I think I do a lot of the time. I like to do loose drawings in different genres, like landscape or loose florals. I'll show you my landscape in a minute, but say this is loose floral. just to put the outline, and then I can see you can use these crayons to still keep, especially if you're using watercolour, because you've got the wax resist properties. So if you're, oh sorry, this isn't in. So if you're a person, and I am that person, who loves, I like the sketchiness. I want the odd lines to show sometimes, like the drawing. They are, you know, a really great crayon. Yeah, like I like that fact that you can see that line there. Now, probably sometimes print companies will come and say, oh no, you need to clear that up. But for me, that's what makes it sort of, this is blatantly drawn, well, by hand. So I'm sure computers could probably copy. Hopefully edited out that bit because I knocked the overhead tripod thing. But yeah, so that's a way. And again, even in this sketch, I think we've got some crayon coming into a loose landscape. So that was my loose drawing for florals. Now if we go to loose, so my loose landscapes, I've definitely been using, and now that I know that they're not water soluble, it's interesting because I can go, even when the area is wet, I know it's not going to then turn into paint. So I have been using them in this, my loose sketchbook, and in landscapes where I'm taking sort of like a reference, but really kind of like squinting. I don't care about so much representing the actual image. I'm just playing about, and these crayons, these wax, sort of these nice pigmented crayons are fantastic for drawing on top of the gouache. And so yeah, I've shown that page before, but one of the reasons I like them so much is I'm all into fitting in as much art as possible in my day. Like I know I keep talking, but I love I just want to make lots of sketches and move on. I sometimes don't want to spend too long on one thing, and they speed up my sketching because I can come in, I don't have to, like, you know, otherwise I'd probably be maybe going in, getting out more paints and going more delicately. They stop me from getting too delicate. You can block in, scribble some colour in. So I think they're great for speeding up, finishing off sketches in a spontaneous and loose way. So that's kind of like how I use them loosely. Let's go on to drawing. I'm going to do a vlog at the end of the week, but this studio, I think I need to tidy up. Just look at the mess surrounding me. Okay, but on to drawing. Okay, so this is because I was determined to use these, and again, have a look with the materials that you found you've got hidden away. When I looked at these, I was like, this is not going to be for good drawing. They're thick and chunky. I'm not going to want to draw sort of more traditional portraits with these. But then I realised that's not true. So I use them in two ways in this sketchbook. Like this sketch in this sketchbook, I'm really loving just graphite pencil sketches. But then I did it and I was like, oh, I wonder if I should come in with a little bit of colour. And let's try this Neocolor I, this sort of light cobalt blue. So they're great for adding a bit of background colour to sketches. And then yesterday, I came in and did a drawing of from a photo of my youngest, and I actually used it to draw with. And I mean, the other thing is, the reality is, which I forget with these, I mean, some of them do have quite nice ones I haven't really used much, have a nice point, but I'm sure you could also whittle them and you can get a fine line. I mean, on a big piece of paper, these would be great for life, if you're going to life drawing classes, and you know, when you have the big piece of paper and because then you're going to get some lovely lines, and you can probably on a large, here the only thing was getting into teeny tiny details was a bit more tricky, but it's still, I didn't think I'd be using these for realistic drawing necessarily. That was just me. But I can. Like, I've had a go, and I quite like that sketch. I like sort of the delicate, the fact you can vary the like sort of light the tones, and then go much more heavy on top as well to emphasize the areas in your sketch. So that was interesting, and I was like, okay, so I can use them in my portraits, I can use them in maybe more traditional landscapes, and I think they're still good also for keeping you a little bit more expressive, because it's going to be very hard. Okay, I don't like this sketch at all. But, like, it's terrible, it doesn't look But the point is, when you use a fine liner, oh my gosh, you can get into the details. All right, and then we come on to abstracts. So it turned out I did, I put a marker in here. I did put a marker in, but there's so many other markers because anyway, this page is back when so in the middle of December when I found out that they weren't Neocolor IIs, and I was like, okay, let's just have a scribble with them. So here are a couple of abstract pages, completely just Neocolor 1, and they are lovely. They, you know, for this sort of, I love this sort of work when I've seen other artists, abstract artists, you know, when you bring out the shapes, but you've got the white, you're not, they're great because they are so saturated and they're smooth to use, so it doesn't feel, you know, too, like you don't get too tight. Also, on going on top, blending, sort of layering colours like yellow on top of that purple too, you can still do that. Yeah, I think I did try that to here. I was experimenting to see how with the wax resist. I mean, sometimes I've got to be honest, kids crayons, if you're doing wax resist, kids crayons can be just as good because almost they're sort of paler, so you really do get that whole wax resist effect coming through. Yeah, so they're great. They're going to be fun for abstract on their own, as you've shown there. Also in mixed media, I've been using them. They're great on collage because you can, and they're great on paint as well. Okay, so then what is the other one? Trying to like keep things tidy-ish. Have I done canvas? You know, I'm going to come to that last because I'm going to have to show you my canvas over there and take this off the overhead thing. Let's go to this one because I've got an example. Reworking old work, drawing. So something I've been thinking about again, and I think it's maybe a good tip for anybody who's, you know, has got some old work, like before you buy new expensive watercolor paper, like, can you use what you've got and rework it? Reuse old pieces of art and either transform them, completely use a surface as a new surface for you. So here, this I dug out, like I did some really, under here, it's pretty covered up. And I didn't film the process because this weekend I was just really enjoying like just playing about, just testing things myself. So I didn't unfortunately, I didn't think to take a picture before this crayon went on top, but it's got, you can see, this is a sort of a very, very loose gouache, I think it's gouache paint under here. Landscape, and I couldn't even find the reference to go back to because it was so indistinct. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to have fun with these Neocolor 1 crayons, and I'm going to just play with let's see how they work for transforming an older piece. And I actually, this isn't necessarily finished, but I actually am really enjoying the effect. Like, I like how if you go on top of the gouache, you have, you know, you can see it's coming through, but at the same time it leaves these block, it covers up, and it's a nice feeling going over the paint. Like, I feel it's get nice distinct lines as well. I always kind of like to have the marks when you're doing sort of more abstracted landscapes or even sort of looser landscapes, having marks coming through. So I can see they're great for making mark making, and just, yeah, then I've layered white on top of the green, just really building them up. So I can see that's another way of having fun with this type of material. All right, my final segment is going to be, can you use these on canvas? And let's see. Okay. So this canvas here, this abstract, this line here, I've added some of the drawing. I did try the Neocolor ones, and I feel that's been fine. A lot of it's about also the sensation, and sometimes I don't like if it makes, I don't know, if it feels too hard or unpleasant, then I don't want to use it. But no, I like sometimes that sort of side totally like that sort of scribbly, getting a scribbly, some scribbly lines in. So here I have, this is my canvas that I just go over and over and over. I'm on the floor. But I just want to show you, let's take a nice, okay. yeah, so now here there's a lot of texture in this canvas because this canvas has been painted over millions of times. So you've got, I feel like it's quite cool if you want to get some textural effects. It's laying down colour quite well. And then that's the, so well, let's try also Neocolor 2. What am I going on top of it? Let's do a separate area. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, essentially this is the same. I assume if I go over with interesting, I don't know. What I don't know, because I'm not into, I'm not up on all the in terms of what pigments and how that's all going to react in the long term, materials on top of other materials. But from my point of view, if you're having fun at home, these are fine. I mean, I'd be interested, do people sell their work when they're using these sort of crayons on canvas, with regards to it being light fast? Or one thing I do think is quite good in comparison maybe to, I'm always a bit hesitant with oil pastel, though I think I will invest in some fixative in the future, is it doesn't feel like there's no, okay, I've just smudged it. I assume this one's going to be, but there's not huge amounts of, okay, you can smudge them a bit. So I assume you're going to have to then put some sort of varnish or protective coating on top if you want it to all stay in place. But this is just my little plate. I don't mind, because I'm going to come back in and who knows where that canvas will go. So yeah, but what I wanted to show you is it would appear these are also quite fun for playing about on canvas. I guess your wood panels. So these materials, let's not lie, they're on the more expensive end for they're artist materials, but they are super versatile. And yeah, so this is, put it in the right one so I don't get confused. But I have, even though maybe I did know what I was doing when I purchased these, but I now have an appreciation for Neocolor 1 and for crayons. So that's 5 ways I think you can use crayons in art. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, hopefully at the end of the week I'll make like a weekly like vlog roundup of what I've been up to. But otherwise I'll see you next time. All right then, bye.